What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Inning Intermissions crossover with a football coach, the one, the only, Mr. Coach Bond here at Chiawana High School. I just introduced you, but now go ahead and introduce yourself.
Scott Bond, head coach Chiawana Football.
Love it, man. How come our baseball sign doesn't look like this?
Oh, it will. It will someday.
Hey, you hear that, Sevy? I like that, man.
The leadership with that program, it's gonna.
Come on now. I like it, though. I'm kind of blocking the league champ one. I got to get that in there. The state playoff run, the one and only. I'm sure we'll talk about that number over there, 2013. That was crazy. And then the gravel pit. There's a lot of numbers over there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just leave that at that.
Okay.
I don't want to start off with any controversy. Well, hey, let's back up. This is way bigger than just Chiawana football. Let's talk about your athletic journey growing up as a kid. Tell us about what sports you played and then how it all went.
Grew up here in Pasco. Played football, basketball, and baseball at Pasco High. Loved doing it. Raised as a Bulldog. Was able to go after high school on a scholarship to play football at Montana State. Didn't work out, and made some travels from there, Walla Walla Community College to continue to play, and then finished up at Eastern Washington where I played and then graduated right there with my teaching degree.
That's awesome. Before it was red, right?
Nope. Yes, before it was red. It's still grass. It's still grass, yeah.
How it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not that red. That's crazy, man. That's awesome. All right, so then your playing days are behind you. Talk about your what made you get into coaching, and then how did it all happen, and then how did you get to where you are now?
I love sports. I love the game, and so I knew I wanted to be a coach and teacher early. And so that journey of playing in college, didn't play a whole lot, but I knew what I wanted to do, and so I stuck around on the sideline and in meetings to just gain knowledge as much as I could. And so I knew that's where I wanted to go. Part of that was just the coaches that I played for had a huge impact on me, from Steve Graff, who was mentored this and continues to Mike Nyhold and John Morgan. They just had a huge impact on what I wanted to do, and so I followed in those footsteps.
That's amazing, man. Billy Graham talks about the impact of a coach, saying that a coach can have more impact on an individual / a group of people than anybody else in the world. It's crazy. Back to Graff. So no shot to any coach I've ever had, but he was the best baseball coach I ever had. That guy knows everything. And just the way he coaches, right?
Yep.
He coached me my freshman year, and then he had to coach our sophomore years because of some coaching issues at Pasco High. And man, he could have ran that program and probably could have got some rings there too, somehow, some way.
100%. He made it easy. He made it look easy. You know, you'd sit there sometimes and go, "How'd you know that?" Or how, and he just. Yeah, just the guy, right? Yep.
So why coaching? Like you kind of mentioned it earlier, the impact coaches have had on you, but like, why do you coach now? Like, what is your philosophy, your why, your vision, all that fun stuff?
I continue to do it because I just love. I mean, it's like right now we're sitting here. I've got the parking lots full of trucks and cars because we got 75 guys here this morning at 7 o'clock working out.
Come on.
I like meeting them at the door and saying good morning and just saying, "Hey, coach." I mean, it's. My wife always asks me sometimes, like, "You going again?" Yeah, I am. This is my routine. I love it.
Yeah.
So my why is just because every year these kids they're different each year, and it's the coaching cliche. You try to mold them and do whatever, but it's I get as much from them as maybe they get from me. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. 75 guys here in the morning is pretty special, right? That's probably why you have a board that looks like this. Just that consistency. Talk a little bit about what separates, not necessarily makes you guys better, right? It's not about that necessarily, but what separates your program from maybe other programs that you've been around or even around here?
One thing that I think is not only just having good athletes here at Chiawana and back in the Pasco High days, but getting back to Steve, the staff that he created. I mean, I coached for him until he retired, and so we're going on 27 years for myself.
It's awesome, man.
There's guys on my staff that we've coached together for all those years, and they've been coaching longer than that. So
special.
I was talking to somebody just the other day that I've got coaches on our staff that are 30 years, 28 years, 27 years, 27 years, 27 years, 27 years.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, 15, 20. I mean, that's huge, I think, in the consistency of what has been developed here.
Yeah.
And then we're starting to get some young coaches that have played for us. So they know, they played for Graff, they played for us, they know where we stood, and so they're bringing that in. And some of the, we got 3 or 4 of the young coaches that are just amazing. Probably one of the best young coaches I've been around. So.
For sure. I think that speaks volumes of who you are, and also just the program, right? Seeing the kids want to come back and coach. Some of those young coaches all played here, and they had a huge impact here, right?
Big.
It's pretty neat to see those names back on the sideline now. They probably miss having the pads on a little bit.
I think they realize that it's past them now. But
I think we all have to face that someday.
Except for
right?
Coach Dorton. We put Coach Dorton out there a few times, and he shows it up. So.
That guy, I keep hoping he gets that call. He looks like he could be playing on Sunday, man. Jeez Louise. That's a different guy right there. I got to get him on here. I got to reach out to him. Talk about memories, man, from your playing days, your coaching days. I know you've had a lot of incredible moments under the lights, probably.
Yeah. It's been a long time for the playing days. So those memories, the coaching memories, have definitely taken over for those. You got to go back to the state championships at Pasco High, the state championship here. Back in those days, the way our league was is every game was a battle. Just to get to those spots, it was a battle. So not only that, is even as the coaches, again, I just got done talking about the coaches, that the times that we've just spent outside the game on the fishing trips or barbecue or over at the house. I mean, it's just those are the memories that, again, you don't get paid a whole lot to do this, as you know, right? So those are the things that is the friendships and the just being around the guys and being around the program that are the memories. I mean, there's too many to probably distinguish or put out specifically, but
that's good. All right, I got to ask about 2013. That state title game. Obviously, the Pasco High state titles were just as amazing in their own sense, right? But that moment, I got to ask, what was going through your mind late in that game before the miracle took place? What were you guys? What was the demeanor like on the sideline? What was going through your coach's head? What was that like?
It's been a while now, but you do go back. It never changed. Those kids were special. I tell our programs to this day is, that's what we're looking for, right? We're trying to get to that point. When we look at this board, it's like that's the goal. And they were special in that they were friends off the field. I mean, as soon as they practiced, they went to somebody's house and they hung out. And they cared, so that was it. You saw that in the end when it was in the end of that game when you needed to battle. They didn't quit. I tell this story all the time, going back to Dre. I mean, we all know that Lake Bishop's yellow shoes. And he scored that, but big play before that was to score the touchdown. He's the outside receiver. He knows, and sorry Blake, but he couldn't run by that guy, but Dre could. And so now coaches. Bishop he switches Dre and puts Dre in that position.
No way.
So I mean, even then, he didn't care that he wasn't going to get the ball. He knew that Dre needed to go out there and go, and then it just kind of rolls that way.
Wow, I did not know.
Turns out great, but
but
I mean, that's the kind of stuff. Is like it was unselfishness. I mean, they didn't care what it was. Just in the end, they had one more point than they did.
That's amazing. Well, as a coach, right, we all want to win. You just alluded to it, right? That's the end goal, right? But that's the hardest thing that's out there, probably. So, what is success to you?
Well, again, I hope that success, when all things are done, one of the things you talked about is those kids, they enjoy this. Right? They come away with an excitement for the program. They want to come back and see it, or just stop by in a game. And, they want to support Chiawana all throughout all the sports, everything. The community. That's what it is.
For sure, absolutely. All right, let's talk to some other coaches that are out there. You talked about those young coaches on your staff that are just starting out. I'm sure you can go back into your brain in regards to your first day of coaching, what it was like. What advice would you give to a coach just starting out, or maybe even a guy who just took over a program for the first time like you have in the last few years? What's your advice?
To the young coaches, it's just be there, want to be around and soak in as much as you can. When I think about all the times, I went 20 plus years just kind of sitting and listening to Dave Spray and Steve Graff and Mike Nyhold. You just any questions you can ask and just soaking in everything that you can.
Yeah.
Right. That's huge.
Yeah.
And that's not just the coaches that there. I mean, reach out to others. Now with social media, I know my young coaches, Trent and Troy, they are the gurus of reaching out on socials to coaches all over the nation.
Yeah.
And getting ideas
Yes.
and stealing. I mean, it's like, wow, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I've learned from them through that. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can get is not a response, right?
Yep.
But everyone's one.
And
one
I'm telling you,
away.
man, most people that are, the coaches that are high on that social media that are out there national, they respond and give them their information.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
It's super cool, man. I love it. The world's so small now.
It is, yeah.
All right, now let's talk about the modern day athlete, right? They have more resources than any athletes ever had before. We know more than we've ever known before in regards to just how to be better physically, mentally, all of it. What advice would you have to a young athlete right now who's coming up?
Well, I think, again, you just said they have access to so much, right? There are times that I think right now, because of that, our athletes are different from the old days in that they do so much.
Yeah.
Right? It's having that balance of taking some days off, and I know the big thing is no days off, but they're also growing. Their bodies need time off.
Yeah, they're kids.
And sometimes we as coaches fall into the trap of
keep going.
There's only so much time. Hey, you got them for this, I got them. So it's just that balance, I guess. Is being able to understand when your body starts to talk to you a little bit. And to listen. For sure. And take care of it.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, hey, on behalf of just a person in this community, being your friend, I love your story. I love watching you coach from afar. I love your passion, your consistency, your organization. I love how you invest in people and how you care about the right things. And I know what you stand for off the field, and that's the most important thing. So I appreciate that about you, man. I know Chiawana, there's probably times you get good emails and then you get those emails where it's like, ooh, right? It stings a little bit, or that comment. So just know that there's way more fans of you than there aren't. And man, I appreciate you. This community appreciates you, and just keep working hard, man. And we're cheering you on. So you're off the hot seat, all right?